I take in my surroundings, my view mostly filled with students making their way across the school grounds. It's not like there are many people here, but it could still be considered a success considering the expectations I had for it. Usually on graduation day, the students only receive their diplomas and listen to a couple of speeches in the auditorium. Later in the day, the grads can prove that they're truly adults now by doing something that's reserved only for adults. Exactly, getting as drunk as a skunk. The main event being going to a nightclub seemed too boring for our committee, so we decided to add a small morning competition between the two participating schools. We're supposed to compete amongst ourselves in one way or another, and from what I've heard, there may even be some commemorative prizes. The problem is that although I'm one of the committee members, I have no idea what's going to happen. I only came here to lend a hand with whatever I may be needed for. It's not like I'm slacking off or anything. I've already helped them out with some vital tasks. Honestly, I don't think anyone in the right mind will wake up this early to come to school on a day without classes. Where am I even supposed to go now? It seems like I'm not the only one making a lost puppy face this morning, though. I see Claire pacing around, and in her hands she's carrying flyers. She flails them around in a vain attempt at distributing them among the passerbyers. Well, she could be disturbing them too. All she manages to spout are intermittent monosyllables, to which nobody listens. After several failed attempts, she crouches and conceals herself under her hat. It's a bit sad, so I decide to approach and comfort her. Halfway there, I regret it and stop walking. It's been a while since the last time we saw each other and spoke. I don't know what I could say. It's not that I'm nervous. Well, maybe a little. It's complicated. It'd be best if I leave her alone. It's too late to waste more time. Ciaran! It's almost as if Claire somehow teleported herself next to me. She grabs my shirt and looks at me with her tearful eyes.
Oh, Claire, I didn't notice you. How are you?
They told me to distribute all these, but nobody's listening to me.
You mean disturb them?
I tried well, more or less. You catch my drift. It's just that these people are so impolite.
I see.
Is something wrong, Ciaran?
Not at all. Why do you think that?
You would usually take this opportunity to laugh at me and then say something like, what I don't understand is how no one has taken you to the Lost Kitty area yet.
I never finish my sentences with heh. Don't make things up.
It's the only way I could come up with an imitate.
To imitate.
To imitate that odd smile you make when you're trying to sound cynical. I bring my hands up to my face and press my fingers against my lips, but I immediately realize that Claire's just messing with me. Don't be so serious, silly. It's going to be a long day. We have plenty of time, don't we?
Yeah, I guess so.
Regardless, you should have gotten here sooner. The rest of us have been doing all the work by ourselves. And I'm sure that you haven't met up with the boss yet.
Theoretically, I'm looking for her.
I'll take you to her. I know where she is.
Shouldn't you be passing out those flyers? I don't want to interrupt your work.
Do you really think I'll be able to pass out a single one?
No way. Let's go.
A normal person would have at least tried to cheer me up. Boo.
When you say boo.
But that's good. It means that you're back to normal. Follow me. Claire leads me out to the schoolyard. It's a large outdoor area with several fields set aside for soccer, basketball, and even track and field. Long past are the years where the stands were inhabited by spectators of sporting events of all kinds. This place has seen better times, but in the hands of the carefree students' generation, it's a success that it remains standing. I realize where my destination is as soon as we arrive at the yard, and I see a huge crowd of students, mainly male. She's there. I'm staying on the sidelines. I'll give you moral support.
You just don't want to fight your way through that sea of men.
Partially, yes. On the other hand, I'd rather observe everything from afar.
That's just a nice way of saying that you enjoy watching me suffer.
Claire laughs. I take it as her way of confirming my suspicion. I drop my shoulders, accepting my destiny. I salute Claire as if I'm in the army before rushing into the heart of the storm. It takes me 10 minutes to cover 9 feet. On the other side of the crowd, there's a wooden stand with tons of cables surrounding it. They appear to be connected to different electronic devices, half of which I can't even identify. Sitting in the very center of the crowd is the supreme mastermind of this whole event, Ziva Shawnee. Quick, Andy, give me an adjective. The busy woman asks me an odd question without even looking at me. It makes me wonder if she caught a whiff of my scent or if she has eyeballs attached to the back of her head.
Ultra. Everybody knows that the best adjective is ultra.
All right. Ziva writes something down on a piece of paper and immediately looks to her right, pointing towards the person standing next to her. Your turn, Diz. Give me a noun.
Eat.
Deniz, who was resting his arm on top of the wooden stand, exhaustedly raises his head. He gives Ziva an unsure reply before going back to sleep. Seriously, if I had to define that guy's worst sin, it would be difficult to choose between sloth and gluttony. Eat is a verb, Diz. Oh well, I can use it anyways. I'll say, give me another noun. Ase appears out of nowhere, as if he'd just fallen from the heavens. He squats down for a second before standing up and walking towards Ziva. He must have injured his ankles if he jumped down from the second or third floor. I'm positive he's hiding the pain to try to look more manly.
You want me to say it?
Boob. The correct answer is boobs.
Was there a wrong answer?
Great, so now we're ready.
Oh man, that's a terrible name.
The Ultra Boob Eater.
That's a terrible name. Objection. I don't know what you're talking about.
You were late, and I needed people for this first competition, so I had to team you up with these two. What has been written cannot be changed. Prepare yourself and go to the starting point. The challenge begins in 5 minutes. Ziva doesn't listen to my complaint. She stands up, picks up a microphone, and announces something throughout the entire school using the loudspeakers.
Oh, she's gonna announce their terrible name. You want me to? Okay, I'll do it. How are my favorite guys? Fine, I'm happy because we're finally about to start the very first and super secret trial of this competition between Enate and Dujan Institute.
Anyone who's participating,
Who isn't participating,
please sit in the stands. You'll be able to watch everything on those big screens.
Is this school rich or something? They have big screen TVs and stuff.
It's gonna be a tremendous, dramatic,
incredible, unforgettable day. Any description I can think of falls short.
So please do everything you can so that those of us who are graduating today can leave with the brightest memories possible. Thank you.
Not with that terrible name.
Anything for you, Ziva.
We love you, Ziva. Marry me, Ziva. Sorry, couldn't take that last one seriously.
I knew about her popularity before, but this surpasses my expectations. Now I understand why my prediction for the attendance was miscalculated, especially when it comes to all of the men here. It's because the committee's boss is able to move the masses with only a wink. Although looking at this display of equipment and organization, it's pretty clear that it's not only because of her pretty face. She not only has immense charisma, she has immense talent.
I'm also a committee member, and I didn't even know what she had planned for today. I have no idea whatsoever where she got the budget for those big screens, neither do we, and all those electronic devices. I should feel bad about leaving all of that work to her, but it's not like I didn't offer to help her before. And besides, Ziva has been acting weird around me for a while now. Plus, she kept me in the dark about all of her plans for today.
The part about pretty face, I almost read as party face.
It's not like our friendship was bad, it's just that our conversations became too normal. She stopped psychoanalyzing me at every opportunity for some reason. Now our relationship has become normal and at the same time is keeping us distant.
Don't just stand there, Campanera. Follow me inside. The starting point is on the 4th floor.
There's 4 floors? Wow.
Without the strength to resist him, I follow Ase and the rest of the team inside the building. While we go upstairs, I notice other groups of 3 waiting in different points, each team surrounded by a disturbing atmosphere. It seems like each of the teams are whispering,
Sorry. Passing on different secrets. It seemed as if all of the participants' eyes reflected their inner bloodlust.
I keep thinking of the name.
Oh, yeah. I know. It's pretty funny and ridiculous.
It seems that everyone wants to steal my prize. How naive. I look at Ase, wondering
what he's talking about. Sorry, she's laughing about the name Ultra Boob Eaters. It's pretty funny and ridiculous. Denise seems to read my mind and gives me an answer. I'll read the rest of the narration,
read
okay?
the rest of it.
You don't know because you got here late, but during the introduction, Ziva announced the prize for this competition, and there was a pretty big commotion about it. Is it that good?
Anything you could guess falls short, Campanero. It's the best prize that a man could ask for, and of course, I'm destined to win it.
I turned to Denise. Is it that good?
Don't ignore me.
It really is a great prize. Can you believe that once people started to talk about it, some outsiders started to show up? Participation should be restricted to students, but I get the feeling that more than one stranger has entered. I don't know how it happened. I bet you were in charge of registration. How did you guess? Because all the strangers came in. We huddle in a far corner on the 4th floor. There we find one of the big black briefcases that Aze had been carrying earlier. On it, there's a label with the disgusting team name, Ultra Boob Eaters, on it.
Glad I had to read that.
UBE. Did she know that our name would be beforehand, or what? While I rip the piece of paper into tiny scraps, I look at my 2 teammates. So then, is anyone going to tell me what that great prize is? Both of them try to speak at the same time, but they're suddenly interrupted by a metallic voice coming out from the loudspeakers.
I can see that you're all ready, so without further ado, let's begin this thing.
Ziva's words seem strange to me. I look up at the ceiling and notice that there are a few cameras placed around the building, meaning that all of us are probably being monitored.
You probably guessed that those briefcases can correspond to each team. Well, you can open them now. Please use the following passcode to do so.
Ziva announces the 3-digit code several times, like when they announce lottery numbers on television. But due to the complex code input system, our briefcase takes a couple tries until I can finally crack it open.
I'm sorry we used such a complex security system, but it was necessary so that nobody would end up being hurt.
The 3 of us curiously take a peek inside our briefcase. We can't believe what we find inside that big black box. What we find shoved inside the padded interior are 2 firearms.
The first trial for this competition between our school is a team deathmatch.
Oh, okay, I was like, it went black and I'm like, oh, it's just the cut screen. We exchange worried looks with furrowed brows. The seriousness in our eyes says everything. Then we all agree, right? The 3 of us nod in unison. Then we officially proclaim this event as the worst cliffhanger in history.
Come on, don't be like that. I want to make it exciting.
By giving them guns?
Is she answering to us personally? Is she actually listening to us? Yes, Aze, I can hear you.
Oh.
Oh, bejeebus.
That's your way of censoring that. The weapons were obviously, as one would expect, airsoft replicas. Oh, okay, I almost thought they were real. Ziva wanted to give us all a bit of a scare with the guns, but I'm more concerned by the fact that she's watching and listening to everything we do with that surveillance system. It's like Big Brother.